Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll see some introduction to polarization. Okay, so what is polarization and what are the types of polarization we'll see in this video, right? If you are first time to my channel, please consider subscribing and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get video notifications from my channel. Right, so what is generally the polarization? So polarization is defined as orientation of electric field as a function of time, at a given location, Okay, so as I have told you, the wave undergoes different changes, right? So because due to attenuation constant and phase shift constant, so wave undergoes some changes in its amplitude, right? So polarization represents the orientation means shape here. So it represents the shape of electric field as a function of time, because as time increases, so the shape the amplitude depends on the shape only, or shape depends on the amplitude only, sorry. So shape depends on amplitude. So as the distance increases, right, from the origin in the direction of propagation, right? So if a wave is propagating along plus z direction, so the wave amplitude at origin will be EOX if it has in x component, and as distance increases, its amplitude is EOX into e power minus alpha z. So due to this alpha, it undergoes some change in its amplitude. When there is change in amplitude, there will be change in the orientation. Okay, so at a given location, we are going to find the orientation or shape of the electromagnetic wave. So that concept is called as polarization. So polarization is defined as orientation of electric field as a function of time at a given location. Okay, so there are three types of polarizations. So major classification is three types of polarization. Okay, so there are three types of polarization. So if the orientation, first classification is if the orientation is a straight line, that is if the shape of this wave propagation is a straight line, it is along a straight line, then that is called as linear polarization. That type of polarization is called as linear polarization. And again, this linear polarization is classified into two types. Okay, so one is vertical polarization, and second is horizontal polarization. Okay, so if the orientation is straight line, then that type of polarization is called as linear polarization. Okay, linear polarization. And again, linear polarization is again classified into two types. One is vertical polarization, second is horizontal polarization. Next, second, if the orientation is a circle, is in the form of a circle, then that type of polarization is called as circular polarization. Okay, and again circular polarization is classified into two types. One is right circular polarization right circular polarization. Second is left circular polarization. Left circular polarization. Okay, so this is the second classification. If the shape or orientation is in the form of a circle, then it is called as circular polarization. Next, third, if the orientation is in the form of ellipse, then it is called as elliptical polarization. Then that type of polarization is called as elliptical polarization. This is the third classification. Okay, so this is called as elliptical polarization. And again, elliptical polarization is classified into two types. One is right elliptical polarization, and second is left elliptical polarization. Okay, so this is the classification of polarization. So they are classified into three types based on the shape. So if the shape is straight line, linear polarization. If the shape is of the circle form, then it is called as circular polarization. If the shape is of the ellipse form, then it is called elliptical polarization. Okay, so if the shape and we are saying that if the shape, so if the shape, so for which we are representing the shape, so we are representing the shape of electric field. Okay, so we are representing the shape of electric field. So that is why orientation or shape of electric field, it depends on the orientation or shape of electric field. Okay, so in my next videos we'll see each and every types of polarization. Okay, so before that, two more important points I forgot. So one is AM broadcasting. So these are the two questions which are asked in previous exams. So AM, previous some competitive exam. So AM broadcasting, okay, so uses vertical polarization. That is, it is using linear polarization. In particular, if they ask, it is vertical. Okay, so if they ask you about only linear or non-linear or circular or elliptical, it is linear. But in linear again, it is vertical polarization. Second, FM broadcasting. So FM broadcasting uses circular polarization. So the FM waves are circularly polarized waves. Okay, so just remember these 2 points also. Okay.